gender and sentencing. So there's been an obvious bias over the past thousands of years, basically, of our existence that female have always been sentenced less than men, no matter the crime, no matter what is on the plate. In this study, I specifically went into that, but the gender discrimination in sentencing is an issue of dangerousness, where women are considered less dangerous than men. This is because women are believed to be weaker and capable of engaging in serious crimes, therefore leading the judges to set lenient punishments. And then social norms in sentencing. So the fact that women are usually assigned these more nurturing and less scary roles in society, we are supposed to be more, babies, and the men are, they're going to commit felonies, the scary crimes, they're going to be the ones out there doing it. This is where I come into a problem, because as a woman myself, I believe in equal rights and equal fights. So, benevolent sexism is a big problem in our community, especially in the area, so I decided Ohio would be a great start to pick. So my empirical questions is, does sentencing severity decisions have a difference in geographic location, gender, juror, crime offender characteristics, and do these factors interact such in an effect of any one factor depending on the levels of other factors? Does social norm attitudes vary as a function of Basically the overview is I'm going to be comparing my 3 dependent variables and all of my independent variables. So going into that, there's a lot of hypotheses. There's a lot. So basically this is just an overview. So we got the main effects, all the different ones for the main effects, the 3-way interactions, and this is for all 3 of my dependents. So my design is a 3 by 2 by 2 by 2 between subjects factorial design. So independence, we've got defendant juror, so male, female, we got type of crime, murder versus theft, participant gender, which is male and female, and then location, we got central, southeast, northwest, with 3 dependents being social norms, scale, sentencing scale, and the verdict scale. This is going to be a saving grace if you need a little bit of an understanding of how this is all going to go down. The procedure, so I have the consent form, the questionnaire. In the questionnaire there's a demographics, social norm scale. They'll read the case, they assign the sentence, and then they determine the verdict. That is an example of one of the cases, that one's theft. And then all the questionnaires are scored based on the social norm, sentencing, and verdict scales, and then it was analyzed using ANOVAs using ASPSS. I tried to run regressions, none of them were significant. So overall, for my participants, I had 99 males, 123 females. I had 70 from Northwest, 72 from Southeast, and 80 from Central. Going into my results, the only one I found significant for social norms was that Central Ohio had higher social norm scales, meaning they were more likely to be not social, but more likely to present those social norms, setting, do you think women should be in these roles or these roles, but Central was more likely to be scaled in that way. This is the main thing that's going to go over the next couple of slides. In sentencing, all of them were significant, but gender juror, this is important because for the next couple of slides you're going to see a lot of interactions going on. So for type of crime and sentencing, this is what we want to see. Obviously people are sentencing higher for murder than they are theft. Thank goodness. Okay, so now we have location and crime offender. Crime offender is the crime, so murder versus theft. So we got male murder, male theft, female murder, and female theft. I don't know if you guys see it, but it will become very apparent, but we have Southeast doing a crazy statistic for female murder. That was one of the significance that you find. All these other ones did not have any significance between it, but Southwest female murder was the biggest in comparison to anything else. And then we have sentencing, gender juror, and type of crime. So you also see this within the trends, so no significance here, but the significance here is almost overwhelming at 7.2 and 9.65. So females are more likely to sentence other females less for murder. This is the three-way interaction that I have. Overwhelming, yes. So let's break it down to a smaller chart. So now we see what I've been explaining from all those other results, that we have male murder, okay, that makes sense. Male theft, oh, okay. So now we're seeing females sentencing other females, specifically in the Southeast, a lot lower, and almost on the same thing for theft. Type of crime and verdict. Also, one of the biggest things I found, which makes sense. Murder, they were more likely to go with the prosecutor. Theft, they were more likely to go with the defense. And then some qualitative data that I've taken. So for male murder, I'm just going to read some of these. So for the males that sentenced male murder, I feel like if he took someone's life out of jealousy, he deserved death. For females, he murdered her. It was a long time coming. Keep in mind, this is almost like a domestic violence situation that was talked about in the scenario. For theft, it was theft over child items. Either a mother or father walked in and stole formula for their kid. He did steal, but he should not have his child taken away. The situation was urgent, and I agree he was in survival mode. For females, we have she can recover from punishment if not guilty. We've got evidence-based, and then the females, 20 to life, because a death is still a death. It most likely could be avoided. Okay. Female theft. Punishment only makes her situation worse. If we allow every person with no money to steal with no punishment, everyone would do it and make excuses. So overall thoughts based on the correlative data. We've got murder seems to be a lot of evidence-centered reasoning, reasonable doubt and limitations, motive and history, and then severity of punishment and then moral judgment. For theft, I found crime versus morality. Do you really want to put away a mom because you're trying to steal for her kids out of necessity? Rehabilitative over punishment, and the circumstance, and then systematic failure. A lot of them were talking about why these systems were put in place for a mother or father not to be able to afford formula. And then discussion, the three-way interaction that showed Southeast females sentencing murder almost the same way that they were sentencing theft was a huge one, which was 5.9, which is insane. And then Northwest and Central Ohio showed more balanced sentencing practices, which I wasn't exactly looking at because I thought it was going to be more rural versus urban. And then overall gender juror did not significantly influence sentencing decisions, contradicting some of the previous research in group bias. Limitations. Okay, so my social norm scale was not significant to what I wanted to be significant to. So I wanted it to be like gender, the verdict scale, not only location, especially sentencing. I wanted the regression to be there. Selecting it was supposed to be colleges, my apologies, 3 colleges, which may have limited the generalization, but it is nice because those are the people that are going to be jurors. The study focuses on murder and theft, doesn't capture very many of those discrepancies and like drug offenses or white collar. I'm also doing a felony versus a misdemeanor. And then participants' sentencing choices may have been influenced by case-specific details. I didn't really think about this when I put the cases together, but a lot of the murder cases were very case or detail heavy. And then in the future research, instead of using social norms, I want to use hostile and benevolent sexism with sentencing and verdict. I used that in my undergrad. And then the conclusion is by understanding how gender and geography intersect to influence sentencing, we can work together for all the outcomes. I didn't find much, which is a great thing. The fact that I found that only Southeast, something's going on down there, But I found that even Central versus the Northwest, their sentencing wasn't influenced by gender juror, which is very important because you want to take away the actual sentencing practices away from the gender itself. And my references, any questions, ideas, thoughts? There's a lot going on.
What do you want to write?
Front door.
Front. How do you say front door?
门口.
门口. Okay. Need one more stroke inside.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah. Okay, buddy, look at. Okay, hold on there.